Yumiare clutched her umbrella tighter as she hurried home from her late-night shift at the small dessert cafe where she worked part-time. Her breath steamed in the cold air, mixing with the patter of rain. Miare wasn't the type to wander alone at night, but her manager had begged her to cover an extra hour. Rent was due soon, she'd agreed. As she crossed the quiet street under the dim glow of a flickering street lamp, she heard something. A low groan. A body shifting. A pained exhale. Mireille froze. Another sound closer this time, like someone struggling to stand. She turned the corner cautiously, and there he was. A man slumped against a brick wall, his shirt soaked with rain and blood. His black dress shirt clung to him, torn open at the chest where a deep gash ran across his ribs. His breathing was shallow but steady. He looked up at her with eyes so intense and dark that Miare stumbled a step backward. Those were not the eyes of a random street criminal. No, this man radiated danger. Ajusi, are you okay? She whispered. The man exhaled a half-laugh. Do I look okay? Even wounded and pale, he was strikingly handsome. Sharp jawline, stormy eyes, hair matted with rain. Something about him felt powerful. Like a king who had fallen off his throne for the night. Blood dripped from his forearm. Without thinking, Miare rushed forward. You're hurt. If you keep losing blood, don't touch me. His voice was harsh, commanding, but when he tried to stand, his knees buckled. Miare caught him instinctively. For a moment, his weight leaned into her, heavy and warm. She could smell gunpowder on his coat. Stay still. Just let me help, she murmured. She looked around. Nothing she could use. No cloth, no towel, only the hair tie on her wrist. A cheap pastel pink elastic band she'd worn since high school. She slipped it off and gently tied it over the deep cut on his upper arm, tightening it to slow the bleeding. The man watched her silently. Her small hands, her trembling fingers, her worried eyes. Nobody had touched him so gently in years. You're strange, he said quietly. Miare blinked. What? Nothing. Go home. But his eyes stayed on the pink hair tie now marking his skin. A delicate ribbon wrapped around a man who commanded armies in the shadows. A symbol of innocence on the wrist of a monster. She adjusted the knot one last time. You'll live. Just don't move too much. She stood ready to leave. Wait, he said. Miare turned. What's your name? She hesitated. Something told her she shouldn't tell him. But his voice, there was something magnetic about it. Miare. He repeated it slowly as if tasting the name. Miare. She blushed. Okay, stay safe. And she walked away, thinking she would never see him again. But Kang Ji-ho, the most feared mafia boss in Seoul, watched her until she disappeared. The rain blurred his vision, but not enough to hide her silhouette. For the first time in years, his heartbeat wasn't from violence. It was from a girl with a pink hair tie. The next morning, the sun rose bright and warm, completely opposite the stormy night before. Miare made breakfast quietly while her father, Yu Byung-ho, read the newspaper. He looked at her suspiciously. You're glowing, he said. Did something happen yesterday? Miare choked on her rice. Huh? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Before he could question further. Honk. A loud honk roared outside. Then another. And another. And another. Miare and her father froze. What on earth? Her father muttered as he rushed to the window. Miare followed. And her heart nearly stopped. A row of 6 luxury black cars, the kind only chaebols and mafia bosses used, lined up in front of their house. Men in black suits stepped out, forming 2 lines like bodyguards from a movie. What is this? Who are they looking for? Her father whispered, horrified. The main car, a sleek black Maybach, opened, and Kang Ji-ho stepped out, perfectly dressed, perfectly groomed, not a single trace of yesterday's injury showing. Mireille's soul almost left her body. Her father gasped. He recognized that face. Anyone in Korea's underworld would. The ruthless leader of the Chilsungpa, the mafia organization that even police feared. Kang Ji-ho walked forward with the confidence of a man who owned every street he stepped on. Appa, Mira whispered desperately. Can we pretend we're not home? Too late. Ji-ho stopped at their doorstep. You Byung-ho? He asked calmly. Her father stuttered. Why yes. I'm Kong Ji-ho. He removed his gloves slowly. I've come to marry your daughter. Mireille. What? Her father. Excuse me. Neighbors began gathering outside immediately, whispering and pointing. Her father grabbed Ji-ho's arm firmly. You cannot marry my daughter. We don't want any involvement with the Mafia. Ji-ho's expression didn't change. I wasn't asking for your opinion. Her father froze. The neighbors gasped. Ji-ho stepped closer, voice dropping. I don't need permission to take what is already mine. Inside the house, Mireille stood trembling behind the sofa as her father reluctantly let Ji-ho enter. Ji-ho looked around the humble living room with mild curiosity. This is where you live, he said softly, almost to himself. Mireille glared. Why are you here? He turned to her, his eyes dangerously warm. To marry you. Marry. She stumbled back. I don't even know you. You saved my life. That doesn't mean I'm your wife. Ji-ho stepped closer, and she felt her heartbeat spike. It was more than saving my life, he murmured. You touched me. That's basic first aid. He smirked. Not the way you did it. Her father cut in. Mr. Kong, my daughter is already engaged. Ji-ho's smile disappeared. Mireille swallowed. Yes. I have a fiancé. Ji-ho moved so fast she barely saw it. His hand under her chin, lifting her face gently but firmly. The engagement, he said slowly, can be cancelled. I don't want to cancel. The fiancé, Ji-ho added coldly, can disappear too. Mireille's blood ran cold. Her father jumped between them. Don't you dare touch Junwoo. He's a good man. Ji-ho narrowed his eyes. Seo Junwoo. I'll remember that. Just then, the door opened, and her fiancé walked in. Mir, what's with all the noise? He froze. Ji-ho froze too. Mireille looked between them, confused. Junwoo's face turned pale. Hyung? Ji-ho's voice dropped to a deadly whisper. Junwoo. Mireille gasped. You two know each other? Junwoo clenched his jaw. He's my half-brother. The room spun. Ji-ho walked to Junwoo slowly. From today onward, he said with a chilling calmness, Mireille is my wife. Over my dead body, Junwoo snapped. Ji-ho's eyes darkened. That can be arranged. After Ji-ho left, Mireille collapsed onto the couch, trembling. Her father wiped sweat from his forehead. We need to act fast, he said. If Ji-ho wants you, we must get you married to Junwoo immediately. Mireille's eyes widened. What? Appa, I'm not ready. Her father grabbed her shoulders. That man is a monster. If he wants something, he takes it. Marriage to Junwoo is the only protection you have. As if on cue, Junwoo stood from the corner. I'll prepare the wedding, he said with a calm smile. But that smile didn't reach his eyes. Mireille shivered. Junwoo walked toward the door. But the moment he stepped outside, Jrrrr! Mireille's small white Pomeranian, Snowy, rushed out and barked at him viciously. Snowy adored Mireille's friends and family. She never barked like that. But at Junwoo, she snarled like he was a threat. Junwoo bent slowly. His smile vanished. A chilling look, cold, murderous, flashed across his face. Stupid dog, he whispered. Mireille didn't hear it. But Snowy did. And barked even harder. Mireille rushed out. Junwoo, don't scare her. He immediately smiled again. Of course not, Mir. She just surprised me. But as he walked away, he glanced back at Snowy with a glare so dark Mireille's stomach twisted. The next morning, Mireille woke to her father shouting, "Oh no, no, no." She rushed outside. Then she screamed. Snowy lay motionless by the gate, dead. Her small body was limp, her fur stained with blood around her neck. Mireille dropped to her knees, sobbing. Snowy! Snowy! Her father wrapped his arms around her, chanting, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Mireille cried so loudly the neighbors gathered. And then she heard the sound of engines. Black cars again. Ji-ho stepped out, alarmed. Mireille? What happened? She whipped around, tears streaming. You! Ji-ho froze. What? You killed her. Mireille screamed. You killed Snowy to scare me. His eyes widened. Mireille, I didn't. Stop lying, she sobbed. You threatened Junwoo yesterday. You threatened everyone around me. Her fists hit his chest. Jiho grabbed her wrists gently but firmly. Look at me. I would never hurt anything that belongs to you. But she backed away, trembling with rage. Stay away from me. Jiho's men exchanged shocked looks. Nobody had ever spoken to their boss like that. Miare turned to run inside. Jiho exhaled shakily. Then he snapped his fingers. His men stepped forward. Carry her. Before Miare could scream, Jiho lifted her off the ground himself, ignoring her punches and tears. Put me down. Jiho, stop. Let me go. He ignored it. I'm taking you home, he said. Jiho brought Miare to his private estate, an enormous secluded mansion on a hill overlooking Seoul. She had never seen anything so extravagant. He placed her in his bedroom, yes, his bedroom, not a guest room. Let me go, she whispered, exhausted from crying. No, he answered simply. She glared. You can't keep me here. I can. And I will. She shivered. Why? Jiho looked at her like she was fragile glass. Because someone wants you dead. What are you talking about? She snapped. He leaned forward. Your dog didn't die because of me. It died because it barked at the killer. Murray's breath caught. Jiho continued, voice low and controlled. I investigated last night. Someone entered your house's perimeter past midnight. Someone used poison meant for small animals. Someone who knew you had a dog. She felt sick. Who? She whispered. Jiho hesitated. Murray's voice rose. Tell me. Jiho met her eyes. Seo Junwoo. The world split open. No, he wouldn't. He smiled at you yesterday, didn't he? Jiho asked. He acted gentle, innocent. But behind that smile, he is more dangerous than I am. Miare shook her head harder. You're lying. You just want me to hate him. Jiho raked a hand through his hair in frustration. Mira, I'm a monster, I admit it. But I don't kill innocent dogs. He stepped closer. But Junwoo. He kills anything that gets in his way. Mirai collapsed onto the bed, crying silently. Jiho clenched his jaw and gently covered her with a blanket. I won't force you to love me, he whispered. But I will protect you. Even from my own brother. He left the room, closing the door softly. Mira stared at the ceiling, tears blurring her vision. Her dog was dead. Her fiancé was possibly a murderer. And the Mafia boss who scared her was the only one who seemed to protect her. Miare stayed in Jiho's mansion for 3 days. First she refused to eat, refused to speak, refused to sleep in his bed. Jiho didn't touch her. He simply brought food, medicine, warm clothes, sat silently by the couch, and left. By the 3rd day, her anger had drained, leaving only exhaustion. She walked into the garden at dawn, needing air. Jiho stood there holding a file. You shouldn't be outside alone, he said. Miare sighed. You can't protect me forever. He looked at her. I intend to. She rolled her eyes but didn't argue. Jiho handed her the file. Junwoo's records. Miare hesitated. Read it, he urged softly. Inside were photos, documents, police reports. Her hands trembled as she flipped through. An elementary school teacher poisoned. A classmate's dog strangled. A girlfriend's ex-boyfriend found dead from suicide. Junwoo's smiling face in every background photo. Miare staggered back, knees shaking. No, this isn't real. Jiho caught her shoulders gently. I didn't want you to see this. But you needed the truth. Tears spilled down her cheeks. He killed Snowy, she whispered. Jiho nodded once. And he'll come for you next. Miare covered her mouth as sobs racked her body. Jiho pulled her into his chest, slowly, carefully, as if she were made of glass. She didn't fight it this time. His hand rested on the back of her head. I'm here, he whispered. I'll protect you. She cried into his chest for a long time, her trembling slowly fading. And for the first time, she felt safe in the arms of the man she thought was the danger. That night, Jiho's men caught someone sneaking onto the estate. They dragged him to the front hall. Mira heard the commotion and rushed downstairs. And froze. It was Junwoo. Bruised. Wild-eyed. Smiling. Mira, he purred. There you are. Jiho stepped in front of her instantly. Junwoo, he growled. You came to die. Junwoo laughed. Hyung, you always take what's mine. But this time, I'm not letting you. His eyes darted to Miare. You were supposed to marry me. You were supposed to love me. Miare shivered violently. Jiho took a step forward. You're sick. Junwoo's smile sharpened. And you're violent. Miare should choose. Miare hid behind Jiho, shaking. He pulled her behind him completely. She already did. Junwoo lunged, but Jiho's men slammed him to the floor. Jiho grabbed Junwoo's collar, fury burning in his eyes. You killed her dog, he hissed. You touched what's mine. Junwoo smirked through the blood. She will be mine. Jiho punched him so hard Junwoo's head snapped back. Not while I'm alive. Junwoo laughed, blood dripping from his lips. Then I'll kill you first. Jiho stepped back, breathing hard. Take him to the holding room, Jiho ordered coldly. Nobody touches him without my permission. As they dragged Junwoo away, he kept smiling at Miare. You'll come to me, he whispered. You always do. Miare burst into tears. Jiho pulled her into his arms and whispered, You're safe now. I swear. Miare trembled in Jiho's arms long after Junwoo was locked away. She felt overwhelmed, fear, heartbreak, betrayal, confusion. But most of all, Jiho's warmth. She pulled away, wiping her tears. Why are you doing all of this? Jiho looked at her gently. Miare, he said softly. I fell in love with you the moment you tied that hairband on my arm. She blinked at him. I've had guns pointed at me 100 times, he continued. Knives, betrayals, blood. But no one has ever touched me gently without wanting something in return. He swallowed. You saw a dying man and you saved him. That's all it took. Mireille's heart pounded. Jiho stepped closer, brushing a strand of hair from her cheek. I don't deserve you, he whispered. But I can protect you. Always. Her breath caught as he leaned closer. Mireille, he murmured. Tell me to stop and I will. But she didn't. Their lips met. Soft, slow, fragile. Like two broken souls trying to find warmth. Mireille held onto his shirt. Jiho held onto her waist. It felt like stepping into sunlight after years of darkness. When they finally separated, Mireille whispered, I don't know what's happening to me, but I don't want you to let go. Jiho smiled, a real smile, rare and warm. I won't. But Junwoo was not finished. That night he broke free, killing a guard with a hidden blade. And he came straight for Mireille. Jiho burst into the hall the moment he heard her scream. Jaecho. He sprinted, nearly ripping the door off its hinges. Junwoo held Mira by the neck. A glass shard pressed to her throat. Don't come closer. Junwoo shouted. Jiho froze. Mireille struggled. Junwoo, please let go. Shut up, he roared, tightening his grip. You were supposed to marry me. You were supposed to be mine. Jiho's voice dropped to a terrifying calm. Junwoo, let her go, and I'll let you live. Junwoo laughed hysterically. You're lying. You always lie. You took father's position. You took everything. But you won't take her. And he pressed the shard closer. A thin line of blood appeared on Mireille's neck. Jiho snapped. He lunged. The two brothers crashed onto the ground, fighting brutally, punches, kicks, blood spraying across the marble floor. Mira crawled away, crying and shaking. Jiho pinned Junwoo and grabbed the glass shard, pressing it to his throat. Junwoo sneered. Do it. Kill me like you killed father. Jiho froze. Mireille gasped. You killed your father? Jiho whispered. No. He did. Junwoo laughed. She knows now. She'll hate you. Jiho's hand trembled. Mira rushed to him and grabbed his arm. Jiho. Stop. Don't kill him. He looked at her. Her eyes. Her voice. Her trembling hands holding him. She shook her head. If you kill him, you'll lose yourself. Jiho closed his eyes and threw the shard away. He stood, breathing hard, and looked at his brother one last time. Take him away, he ordered. This time he didn't look back. Mira sat beside Jiho on the balcony as dawn approached. She wrapped a soft bandage around his bruised knuckles again gently. Jiho watched her quietly. You're not afraid of me anymore, he said. She smiled faintly. I was never afraid of you. I was afraid of losing myself, and losing Snowy, and losing the life I thought was normal. And now, she tied the bandage firmly. Now, I'm afraid of losing you. Jiho's breath hitched. Miura reached into her pocket and pulled out another hair tie, identical to the one she tied on his arm that night. She tied it around his wrist over the faint scar. Jiho stared at it. At first I regretted giving you the hair tie, she whispered. But now, I'm glad I did. He lifted her chin gently. Miare. She met his eyes. Be my wife. This time she didn't hesitate. Yes. Jiho kissed her deeply, pulling her into his arms as the morning sun warmed their faces. The nightmare was ending. Their story, unusual, chaotic, dangerous, and beautiful, was beginning. 1 year later. The wedding was small, private, surrounded only by loyal men and a few trusted friends. Miare walked down the aisle holding a bouquet of white lilies, Snowy's favorite scent. Jiho stood waiting for her, wearing the hair tie on his wrist like a sacred charm. When she reached him, he whispered, You saved my life once. She smiled. And you saved mine. He took her hand. From now on, he said, voice steady and warm, you belong with me. Miare nodded. And you, she whispered, belong with me. They kissed, sealing a future built from blood, fate, and a pink hair tie. The Mafia boss became a husband. The ordinary girl became his light. And together, they rewrote their destiny.